Based on my experience and what I've read on a number of news articles and news outlets, it seems like entrepreneurship is decreasing and getting less popular in Canada. And I can base a lot of this off my personal experience, having talking to Canadian entrepreneurs every single day. But my experience is a little bit different because I'm talking to entrepreneurs who are in different countries, who are really global and who really resent doing business in Canada, or who have maybe had bad experiences in Canada doing business there, or maybe they just don't like other policies and other political things. And I want to dive into this, if and why Canada hates entrepreneurs. And it's not a super detailed video, but it's more of like the big picture of, if you're an entrepreneur and you're in Canada, I want to share that there are options and there are things that you can do if you want to grow your business and you want to pay less taxes and you want to get more clients. And I want to share what some of my most successful clients are doing all over the world, because I'm working with clients who have left Canada, moved to Dubai, moved to Mexico, moved to Paraguay, moved to Australia, like literally anywhere else in the world. And they're finding great success and they're paying much, much less taxes. And as a CPA, an international tax consultant, I focus a lot on the conversation of taxes. And if you are an entrepreneur, taxes are really important. So right now, let's talk about first what's going on in Canada. The first thing is there is increased regulation. And this is about, not to speculate what's right and what's wrong, but Canada, there's a lot of rules. There's more rules than ever. And these are social rules. These aren't necessarily like business rules or licenses, but they're like social rules. If you misgender someone, or if you do something, say something mean to somebody, or if you do something, they can just drag you through the mud and it gets really complicated and it's just not worth it. For someone like me who's focused on his business and helping his clients, I don't want to deal with any of that. And there seems to be a lot of just generic regulations and social judging and cancel culture out there. And again, this is based on what I'm hearing from clients and what I'm reading on the internet. But that's a big reason that my clients are leaving Canada. The second one is increased taxes. And this is probably the biggest. Most of my clients in in Montreal or Quebec, or in the major cities in Toronto and Montreal, are paying up to and over 50% in taxes. When you're a successful entrepreneur in Canada, it's tough to pay less than 50% in taxes. I have some clients in Alberta that pay a little bit less, but even then, if you sell your business or you make an exit and you sell your business for 10 million, you're taking home maybe 5 if you're lucky, probably a little bit less. That's half of your money. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're successful, taxes are going to be one of your biggest expenses. And when you can keep your passport and just leave Canada and stop paying taxes, it's an extremely enticing opportunity. And again, that's why I'm talking to so many clients every day about doing this. What my clients are doing is generally breaking residency with Canada and then moving somewhere else and then working remotely, doing some kind of online business. And maybe they're searching for additional passports. Maybe they're searching for to get residencies all over the place. Paraguay is popular. Panama was more popular. Now it's a little less popular. Dubai is always popular. And there's different ways to get residency in countries all over the world, and the Canadian passport is very good. So you have a lot of freedom and a lot of opportunity to go different places. If you're a Canadian thinking about leaving Canada, here's what I would recommend, and here's what my clients are doing. Number one is talk to your Canadian tax advisor. There's an exit tax in Canada. Maybe if you have a lot of money and a lot of assets and you want to leave Canada, you have to pay an exit tax. You have to review your local tax situation. The step number two is you have to cut ties with Canada. So this is generally, like sell your house, get rid of your assets in Canada, just like have no ties to Canada, close your bank accounts, do all of that. And then number three is you need a way to get paid. So this is where I'm working with most of my clients. My clients are opening U.S. companies, U.S. LLCs. We're helping with the bank accounts, the payment processors, the tax filings, all the compliance, a real VIP service we're offering over here. You don't have to pay any income taxes. So if you're a Canadian and you leave Canada and you don't go to the U.S., you can have a U.S. LLC, as many bank accounts as you want, brokerage accounts, investment accounts, and you'll pay no income taxes, no taxes on capital gains. And you have access to some of the best banks and payment processors and just technology solutions in the world. And then step number four is get new residency somewhere else. So you have to be going somewhere generally, and you have to get your business set up somewhere, or not get your business, and you have to get residency somewhere and review the tax laws there. Because my clients that go to Mexico don't really register in Mexico. They get permanent residence, but they don't register for taxes, and they don't bring the money back to Mexico, so they don't pay taxes in Mexico. I'm not a tax advisor in Mexico. I'm not a tax advisor in Canada. I'm only a tax advisor in the US. I know the tax rules here and I can comment on the rules here. I can comment on the procedures and the processes in the US, but I can't comment on other countries. So you definitely need to hire advisors in those countries. And I have a great network. If you're looking to work with me on the LLC and all that stuff, I'm definitely happy to introduce you to my contacts and work through this process with you and help you out. But, there's multi steps to it. Again, you have to review your situation in Canada. You have to see what you have to do to leave and what you have to do to really exit the tax system. I think filing a final tax return and telling them you left is really important. And then finally, it's just make sure you operate and run everything the right way. You can still go back to Canada, assuming you set it up, assuming you're not doing business there and you pass all the rules and you pass all the requirements with your attorneys and your team. You can go back there and visit friends and family, but you're really not staying there or living there. You're just visiting, and that's after you've already established residence somewhere else. I don't know if Canada hates entrepreneurs, but I know that a lot of the entrepreneurs I talk to hate Canada. And let's not say they hate Canada, but they don't like living there or the government or paying taxes there. They might like Canadian people because that's them, but they don't like any of that other stuff. Maybe you love it there and you want to stay there and you think I'm an idiot. You can comment below and tell me. I'm happy to to accept that. But I'm also just sharing my experiences. Like I'm telling you guys, I work with a lot of Canadians investing abroad, opening U.S. accounts, using U.S. businesses, and generally just leaving Canada. And I just want to get your opinions on what you think about this. If you're Canadian and you've left the U.S., I mean, if you're Canadian and you've left Canada, and you don't have a U.S. company, a U.S. bank account, and you're using some kind of offshore bank, I'd love to help you get this all set up. And if you're a Canadian and you want to leave Canada, I'd love to work with you on the U.S. portion of that and to coordinate this with you a little bit and just help you through the process as I've worked with many, many people who have done this.